to Otoshi Monologues, my excuse to talk, rant, and embarrass myself in front of all of y'all. Today is another one of those random videos where the main event is visiting Anata no warehouse before they close forever. We'll have my first stab at ASMR eating a persimmon because, well, it kinda just turned into whispering. A taiyaki recommendation if you're ever in Shinjuku, a story about supermarkets, and trying to buy Ghibli museum tickets. Again. Actually, let's start with the Ghibli tickets, but this time from one of the Loppy ticket vending machines. A couple of my cousins were coming to Japan in December, and they really wanted to go to the museum. And I told them about the online system, but also warned them that the system is sort of whack and it might crash on them. So since November 10th was a Sunday, I decided to head out and try to find tickets for them just in case. But oh boy, was that an adventure. You see, I thought all Lawson convenience stores had the Loppy ticket vending machine. So I headed out to what I thought was the closest one to campus, and it was a 15-minute walk, so I was like, I can walk there, all good. Well, it turns out that this was a Lawson 100 store, so it's a smaller store, and I got here right at 10 a.m. when the tickets should go on sale, but then I talked to the cashier, and he said that they didn't have a machine. And I was like, crap. Now I gotta figure out where the next closest one is. So I look it up, and it's another 15-minute walk away from me, but it's headed even farther away from campus. But I was so determined to get these tickets, I already dragged myself out of bed anyway. Side note, I was in non-athletic clothes, which is important because it was already 10 a.m. So I decided to jog my way on over to the second Lawson because I knew the tickets would be selling really fast. So here I am in like jeans and Converse with my glasses on, pretending to be an early morning jogger. It was a fun time. Then I finally made it to the second Lawson, only to discover that it was in a Red Cross medical type building, and I'm pretty sure you can't just stroll into this hospital. But then I get a text from my cousin saying that he got through online and they were able to get tickets. So thank goodness that they were able to get the tickets and got to go to the museum. Mission accomplished, even though I 100% failed on my end. Then I realized that I was a 30-minute walk away from campus, so I started working my way back. And here's a short snippet from that walk back.
Okay, good lord. Ran around for a solid 45 minutes trying to find a Lawson, only to go to 2 wrong Lawsons. But in the end, Ryan and Amy are going to the Ghibli Museum, so it's all good. Everything's fine. Feel very energized this morning. Got the exercise in for the day. Everything is good. The leaves are changing. And peace out.
Then when I finally made it back to school, Eric told me that there was a Lawson located right outside the south exit of school. But for some reason, Google Maps didn't show that one to me as an option when I looked it up. And we were supposed to meet up at a Lawson to figure out this whole ticket thing, but as you know, I ended up at the wrong Lawson. But he ended up going to that Lawson where they did have a Loppy ticket vending machine, but their system was down anyway and he was told to come back in a couple hours. So even if I made it to the correct Lawson, I'm gonna choose to believe that I wouldn't have been able to buy the tickets anyway to make myself feel better. And now off to Anata no warehouse. Anata no warehouse was a giant arcade located in Kawasaki in Kanagawa that was designed to look worn down like the former Kowloon walled city in Hong Kong. The arcade opened in 2009 and then closed on November 19th, 2019. It's a 5-floor building where the floors are separated between rhythm games, claw machines, slot machines and coin pushers, pool, and ping pong. And they have a really big variety of old school arcade games like Tetris and whatever this game is that Julian and Patrick were playing. It has a very creepy vibe to it. It's pretty dimly lit inside and it's decorated with a whole bunch of different Chinese advertisements. They have a lot of neon signs, and I think it's trying to make you feel like you're outside walking through the streets. Can't verify if this is what it feels like to be in Hong Kong, but it definitely captured a unique environment. I mean, they set up a fake Chinese butcher shop in here, but then they also got these European-looking sculptures. Now let's move on to some of the games. We got this more technologically advanced version of DDR, and this piano version of Rock Band. Overall, I didn't really like it in here. It was really dark, and smoking is allowed on all floors too, so it just smells really bad, and then it's also really hot because of all of the body heat. But as an experience, I'm glad I went. I did get to see this old school Coca-Cola vending machine, where you just take a Coke out of the side door after you pay, and it dispenses bottles that have Japanese bottle caps. And one more thing, is that their other entrance is this creepy cave thing where you have to cross this stone path over this toxic looking green lake. Very much like a movie. Don't know what the circle entrance says, but it's very aesthetic, and that's all that matters. After leaving the warehouse, we stopped for dinner at Matsuya's sister restaurant, Matsunoya, which, if I remember correctly, specializes in various katsu dishes. By my standards, this place is a really good late nights, quick eats kind of place where the food is still pretty good and relatively cheap. Here's my katsudon that comes with miso soup, and I think it was around 600 yen. Overall, pretty average. Nothing special, but definitely still tasty. I mean, can you ever really go wrong with fried food though? As long as it's fully cooked, that's all you really need, right? And now the moment that no one's been waiting for, some persimmon eating, which could be considered ASMR, but I don't know. I just really wanted to eat a Japanese persimmon, so here you go.
Persimmon. Persimmons in Japan are square, so they can fit in the boxes. You may also be wondering why I am not using a plate, but it is because if I use a plate, then you cannot see. We're gonna use our plastic knife and try to cut this persimmon. Okay. Pretty good. This is gonna be a long process. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward through this. Here we have our cut persimmon, and I know I cut funny. Don't cut the way I cut. Not the safest way, not the fastest way, but it was the way I chose to do it. This persimmon is very light color. It's like kind of yellow. It looks like a pumpkin. Very slimy too. Cross section. Ooh. And again, for 16s. Yay. It was like $1.20, 120 yen. So like not the cheapest, but it's very rotund. So I think it's worth it. Itadakimasu. Very glad that I got to partake in persimmon season. Yay! That's it. Bye-bye.
Wow, wasn't that riveting? As a reward for suffering through that persimmon eating, I have a really good taiyaki recommendation for you if you ever find yourself in Shinjuku. This place is by no means a hidden gem. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about it, but I still think it's worth checking out. There's this little taiyaki food stand at one of the main exits from Shinjuku Station. You go down the escalator, or the stairs if you're healthy, and then you should see this big building labeled Green Peas. And then look for the Gap store that's somewhere in that area, and right in front of the Gap store, there's this nice little taiyaki stand called Taiyaki Tainoya. But if you can't read Japanese, look for the Gap. Find the Gap, and you'll be okay. The taiyaki is 250 yen, and it's the best taiyaki that I've ever had. The batter to red bean ratio was perfect. And the taiyaki batter itself seemed more mochiko based, so it had a really nice crisp on the outside with this amazing chew on the inside. All of them come piping hot, and especially on a freezing cold night in November, it was amazing. They also have a soft serve too that you can order with your taiyaki if you're in the mood for some ice cream too. Don't get scared by the length of the line if it happens to be kind of long, because it moves really fast. We waited all of 5 minutes for these wonderful fish boys. 1000% worth it though. Continuing on the advice train, I want to tell y'all a little bit about supermarket discount bentos. Because I was blown away when I found out how drastic these discounts were, and the food is still so good, and it actually comes out cheaper than the dining hall food, which is insane because 400 yen for a hot meal is already crazy cheap. So in America, if you've ever been to a Japanese supermarket like Nijiya, all their bento boxes go on sale, I think, at 7 p.m. every day, just because they need to clear out their inventory. I think the discount is 20%, but in Japan, their discounts range from 30 to 50% or even more. This food that they discount was made the same day. It's not even 24 hours old yet. If you just do your grocery shopping like after work or after dinner, you can stock up on all this food at half the price on any given day of the week. Like, what? I'm so sad that I discovered this so late into my trip. But if you either don't like to cook, you can't cook, or you just don't have the time to cook, you can just stockpile supermarket bentos in your fridge for like 200 to 300 yen. This fancy bento that I bought was actually enough food for me to eat twice too. And look at that variety of rice and protein. As long as you're a person who's okay eating leftovers and or reheating your food, supermarket bentos, definitely the way to go. Even 7-Eleven and Family Marts do this discount thing too, but it's a little more hit and miss if you can find them. At this supermarket, being the one at Musashi Sakai Station, it has rows and rows of clearance food, and it's marvelous. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. But you know, I just thought I'd share this information with you, just in case you ever find yourself in Japan and you need a cheap but good quality meal. And with that, that brings me to an end of this Otoshi monologue. Hope you could follow along with these random rants and discussions. Hope you enjoyed seeing parts of Anata no Warehouse if you've never been there before. And I hope y'all have a fantastic day and night, and I'll talk to y'all next time I do something interesting. Mata next time. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Bam!